In this lecture, you will learn how to record data to be displayed dynamically on a web page. Here, when you want to display an article, you just get it from the database and you render it to an HTML page. So here we get only the article content and title, but we need to add the comments, if any. You can see here that when we get the article, we get only the content, as the article ID is also the title. But in the future, you will change this, and the article ID will be no more the title. So with this getArticle function, it would be nice to get at the same time the content, the title, and now as we need comments. You know two kinds of data structure, the variable and the array. So we can imagine that this getArticle function returns an array with the title, the comments, and the content of the article. So let's change this one. So now instead of returning a string of character, you return an array. So here you return an empty array, and here you return value is an array so we need three values: the title, the content, and the comments. Title is currently ID. The content is article, and the comments, it's now an empty array, as they may have several comments. And here you return this one. Okay. So here you get an array that you give to this function. So you need to change to this function. You don't need the title anymore. So the title is article title. Here it will be content, and you can add here the comments. Here you put comments h2, and here you have the comments which are in an array with an S, and as it's an array, you make a for each comment, and here you display it. Comments. Okay, let's check that. Okay, we have comments and nothing under. So now you can display comments, but you need now to record them. So the record is when you get them. So you're gonna record them here. Here, okay. Here you get the values. And here you call a new function, save comment, and you pass the article ID, the first name, the email, and the comment. If you remember the separation of responsibilities principle, in the database file, you don't care how the data is stored. You just use getArticles function to ask and get data. It is the responsibility of database code to manage how it is stored. Usually, websites use database with SQL tables to store data. Now, in order for you to learn PHP, you're going to store data in a file. Then, you just created the save command function. From here, you don't know how data are stored. Now, you're going to implement this function and store the data in a file. To open a file, you use the function fopen. You provide a file name and you choose how to open it. So we're gonna add data, you're gonna append data, so you use a. This function returns a file handle. You test if file handle exists and you write the data to the file handle, and here you put data line, and then once it's done you close the file with the file handle. Okay, so let's add here some bulletproof code. Let's imagine that two users post at the same time a comment. Then, at a moment, at the same time, the code wants to open the same file twice. So, you must lock the file in order for the code to use the file only once at a time. So, to lock a file, to prevent that, you can use the function flock. So you create a lock on the file handle, which will be exclusive. You get the file lock here. So here it's locked, and here you write, and once you've done with writing, you release the lock. So flock file handle, and you unlock. So here it's safer to add a new comparison. So if we have an handle on the file and we have created a lock, we can do that. A last thing to do is that we want absolutely to record the comment. So imagine again two users posting a comment at the same time. If here the handle is not created, you are going through the code and you exit the function without saving a comment. So you need to wait until the lock is released. So you can create a variable is save done, which you initialize to false, and now you're gonna use another loop while is not save, while the save is not done. You're gonna do this block of code. Then when you have two users trying to save a comment, the first one lock the file so it can enter this code, but if the second at the same time tries to enter, it can't, so it goes through the code and loop, and here the save is not done yet, so it tries again, and it keeps trying until the first user unlock the file. Then as the next iteration, the second user finally succeed to create the lock, enters this file. So here we need to update the variable to save is true, so that when the save is done and the file is closed, it returns here, and as the save is done, it doesn't go through this block and exit the function.